Hi. Parashat Ha'azinu, almost by the end of the Sefer Devarim, is a very interesting Torah portion. The word Ha'azinu connects to the word ozen, which means in Hebrew ear. So basically the parasha wants us to hear and to listen to what Moses is saying. And there are about 70 line songs, because it's written in poetry, with a message. By now, Moses realizes that it is not going to be the people that are really going to remember or witness his statements, but rather nature. And he calls upon heaven and earth as witnesses. He exhorts people to remember the days of old, to consider the years in the desert, to ask the parents about the traditions of the desert, and to consult with the elders. He also reminds the people of Israel that they might forget God. They might, as said, grew fat and forget about the God of Israel. And he reminds them that Moses transmitted to them great calamities that were to happen to the people of Israel if they will forget God. And also spoke about the hidden face of God as God rejecting the people of Israel. He also tells them that God will avenge the blood of God's servants and be reconciled with God's people and the land. And by the end of Parashat Ha'azinu, God gives instructions to Moses to ascend to Mount Nebo, and from there to see the land of promise before he dies on the top of the mountain. He says, "For you shall see the land opposed to you in front of you, but you will not go there into the land which I give the people of Israel." And everyone who reads that feels sad because of Moses, feels sad that the lawgiver, the one that really was able to hold Israel together and arrive into the land of promise, is not able, allowed, permitted to go and settle with them. It will have to be the new generation with the new leadership, and that will be Yeshua ben Nun. Parashat Ha'azinu is usually read on Shabbat Shuvah, the Shabbat of repentance, the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and is read in its entirety. We do not cut it on thirds, which is the annual reading. It's quick, is uplifting, there is poetry. If you know Hebrew, you will be uplifted by the words. And in very times, we enjoy reading that portion at the end of the Torah. If you recall, the other beautiful poetry is on Shabbat Shirah, when we read Shirat Hayam, the crossing of the Sea of Reeds by the people of Israel. We're coming to an end of the Torah. We'll be celebrating Simchas Torah very soon on October 11. But before that, we need to go through Yom Kippur and then Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret. On that note of keep enjoying the high holidays, I will wish you Gemar Chatima Tova. May you be inscribed and sealed in the book of life. Shana Tova. Shabbat Shalom.